wish that my mom was never touched and harmed, because then her body wouldn't have experienced all the trauma it did. I wish that my mom was treated the way she deserved to be treated. There are parts of me that have forgiven aspects of those people in my life and in my mom and my mom's life.
Welcome back to another powerful episode of Voices of H.E.R.R, where we center the stories of women who embody healing, empowerment, rising, and resilience. Today, we're honored to welcome back a returning guest. I call her an OG, okay, who's moved thousands of listeners. If you've been with us since last year, you'll remember Sharice Tareva, a survivor of sexual trauma, molestation, human trafficking. Her courage to speak truth to pain and transform it into purpose sparked healing, not only for herself, but for so many who saw themselves in her journey. In this follow up conversation, we're checking in on how life has evolved since she last sat in the chair. What's changed? What's still healing? And what new power is she walking in now? Welcome, sis.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
What an intro.
yes.
Thank you.
You're absolutely welcome. How are you feeling today?
I am feeling good. In Jersey we got the allergies going on, so y'all might
Yes.
hear that, but that's that. I'm happy the sun is shining. The winter is over. Thank God.
Yes. So, when you reflect on our conversation from last year, Cherise, what stands out most to you now, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally?
You came ready with these questions. Hmm. I would just think the growth from the past year, the emotional intelligence, the trenches that we both were in over the last year just speaks to the work that you and I both do. Like, it's a testament and a testimony, and I just got goosebumps that we're here for a purpose, and so is anybody else watching this. Like, I know on the internet that everybody shows their highlight reels and the pretty aesthetically pleasing things that they either are experiencing or in their home, but like everything is not pretty. And I say this a lot in the calls with my clients. They're always asking me, like, the glow up I see online and people moving on from relationships and like a couple goals. And it's like, girl, but like, ain't nobody showing you the behind the scenes work that it took to get to that loving relationship. Ain't nobody showing you the work that it took to get themselves out the trenches. Like, they didn't just wake up one day and they was a baddie. Like, that's not how it works. They woke up and they were on the floor crying. They might have been sleeping in their car. They might have been homeless. They might have been depressed. They might have been not eating. Like, there's so many layers to this shit, and I just wish that it was shown in a more realistic way, because people come to do the work that we do, and they have this expectation for it to be instant, and like, ain't nothing instant. Every overnight success got like 15, 20 years building behind it that nobody has privy to.
Right.
So I just think that the growth, the emotional, the spiritual, just not with myself, not with you, but even that I've seen in my clients, is just, I was trying to put a word to it, and I want to almost call it magical, but it's just so much bigger than that. It's I don't know. It's like, wow, I get to witness this.
Okay. So, you were incredibly vulnerable in sharing how trauma impacted your identity. In the last
Mhm.
year, how have you redefined who you are outside of your
Ooh,
pain?
I love that you
Mhm.
asked that. You coming through with these questions. Um, so there have been multiple deaths and rebirths in my personal life, and I truly believe that my work that I do with the women in the Rebirth Initiation Academy is a reflection of my generational trauma and what my mom went through and what my mom went through, and also what I've been rebirthing within myself is I am so much more than just the trauma that I went through. The women are so much more that join my program than the generational and the sexual trauma that they endured. And I so multifaceted and I haven't been expressing that as much as I would love to. And so I've been working on just being, in my personal life, just creative and having more fun and calling in more pleasure. And it's reflecting in the work with my clients as well and in their own lives. Like, I feel like women in the trauma space, we wear it like it's a badge of honor. And it's like, girl, yes, I know you went through that. And like, also, what else? Like, what
Right.
else is, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, yeah, I was trafficked. Yeah, my mom was trigger warning, molested. And so was I, and so was my mama. My mom was conceived in that way. And
Right.
also, like, my mama was a beautiful person. And the way she cooked and the way she nurtured you. And my mom was so funny and just artistic and a poet. And there's these other aspects of them that I do not think I spoke about as much that I am just like allowing myself to be held and hugged in. And also, like, there's this homecoming back to the version of me that didn't have any of that trauma, like, wasn't aware of it. And I want to be mindful. Some of us inherit it. Like, I inherited a lot of my sexual and generational
Right.
trauma. There was nothing that I did to gain it. It was there. It's in my bloodline. And also, there was a time where I didn't have any privy to it. I had no idea. You know what I mean? And I was in my
Right.
purest, most authentic and innocent self. And I just find myself like, dancing with that version of me and also dancing with my teenage version that still had no privy to it. And just integrating those parts of me and allowing it to not just be like, oh, she was the girl that was trafficked. I never, I remember not wanting to share that story because I didn't want to be seen just as that, because I'm so
Right.
much more. And it's also like a reflection for my clients. You're so much more than the trauma you went through. You're so much more than your pain. You're so much more than your struggle. Like, you got all of these layers to you that you just haven't been able to look at because you're stuck in survival.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stuck in survival. And for the record, guys, go check out Sharice Instagram. She's always
Mhm.
dancing. Okay. She's definitely multi-talented.
I'm dropping a dance video this week, all right? I got
Okay.
her scheduled out already. It's so cute.
Oh my gosh. Such a beautiful spirit. So,
Thank you.
have any unexpected triggers or healing moments caught you off guard since our last interview, Sharice?
Ooh, yeah. Yes. What? Life. Oh, man. Yeah, I had reconnected with somebody that I love deeply. Like, I mean, like on some twin flame shit. And I use that word lightly because it's so oversaturated on the internet, but like, this is really my twin flame.
Right.
And because of that connection that we have, they, all right, let me backtrack a little bit. Twin flames are going to mirror to you what you are not willing to look at, right? And although I help women with sexual and generational trauma, like, I'm a fucking human being. So there
Right.
are some things that I have just been like, yeah, not right now. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have the capacity for that, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean I'm not doing my healing journey. That just means that I'm shelving it for later. Well, when you're in a relationship, because I think we're all in relationships, whether they're platonic, business, romantic, and this is a really good friend of mine. When you're in that dynamic, there's nowhere to hide. You can't hide when your conflicts come up. And I also think that we avoid conflict as human beings as much as possible, and I think that that is where a lot of the growth will happen if you just like kind of, I'm not saying go around and argue and fight with everybody, but when you learn how to navigate disagreements, there's growth. When you learn
Right.
how to conflict with consciousness, there's so much growth. Even if you're the conscious person and the other person isn't, even if you're on a spiritual journey and the other person isn't, there's still going to be so much growth. And this particular person, again, love them deeply, known them for a very long time. We reconnected, and in our reconnecting, they literally, it's like they do this to each and every one of my wounds, and not in a way of being toxic, but in a way of being like, this is spirit's way. I feel like my mama's way and the universe's way to be like, yo, it's time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there are these three things that you have been neglecting, and I'm literally going to do this to it and then pour some salt on it and then do it again until you look at it. And I've had quite a few breakdowns that where the to our disagreements that ain't had nothing to do with that person at all and had everything to do with the wounded little girl that was missing her mom, the wounded little girl that was like, yo, you're not seeing this part of me and I need to express this part of me.
Right.
So I truly think that that person for me is a gift, even if we're not meant to talk to each other and, in the long run, and we're not meant to be in each other's life. That person has helped me in my healing immensely and allowed me to feel things that I wouldn't have went to the depths to feel had we not had those disagreements and those triggers had not came up and those conversations that came up. And I love that person for that. I
Right.
like beyond the physicality, like on a soul level, like thank you. Like because
Yes.
that's a for me especially, and I know that you can relate to this, going through the type of trauma that I've gone through, like for you to be able to get that deep and for me to be that vulnerable and come that undone, like that's a superpower almost, and I feel like I provide that for my clients, and of course I need that for myself too. And
Right.
again, disclaimer, I have my therapist. I am an advocate for therapy, and I say that, and I also say that talk therapy is not for everybody. There are some things that you don't want to relive, you don't want to be re-traumatized, and excuse me, that is one of the reasons I started doing the work that I do, because I've done so much talk therapy and it didn't get me to where I felt I wanted to be. And when I started doing these other modalities that I now have learned and teach in the Rebirth Initiation Academy, I was having so many breakthroughs. Yeah, so take it how you take it.
I love that. I love that. You have definitely evolved since
Oh,
our
thank
last conversation. I will put a clip of our conversation from the previous interview here so you guys can go and check it out. She definitely pours her heart out then, and she's giving you the update now. So you got
you.
to catch up on that one before you kind of understand this one.
Yes, watch
All
part
right.
one. I could see my pimp slash fake boyfriend and his brother in the car, and I'm like, yo, I'm calling your phone. Why aren't you answering? Blah 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 blah. And the brother gets out and he's like, Reese, run. And I'm like, and then the boy that was trafficking me, he walked in with 4 bullet holes, 4 gun wounds, no exit wound. I was like, wow, this is what heaven looks like. Skip part one to try to go to part two. Good in
Period.
order, okay? Thank you.
So you spoke about breaking generational trauma. What
hmm
actions or mindset shifts have helped you stay committed to that path, even when it gets hard?
I just got the vision, of watching, so I didn't see a lot of the generational trauma. I experienced the after effects of the generational trauma. But because of my clairvoyance and all my other gifts, I have the gift of seeing, and I literally just saw like a pan out of my mom and what she went through quickly and what my mom went through very quickly as well. And the words that come to my mind are, I'm going to say it all the time. It stops with me. It's more of a, how do I want my life to look? Where do I come from? What did the women that birthed me, the women, because you're not only in your mother's womb, but you're also in your mama's womb. So any trauma
Right.
that she experiences, you inherit ancestrally. And I love my mama and my mom deeply. And they did not have access to the tools that I have access to. So because I have access to this medicine, this shit stops with me. And not only am I going to make sure that my daughters and my nieces and anybody else in my lineage doesn't have to ever deal with any of that shit, I'm going to pay it forward to the women that have also experienced sexual and generational trauma. And I would say the mindset shifts are, again, on the internet, we're seeing highlight reels. We're seeing, people go to Bali. I love me some Bali. I can't wait to go back. And you're seeing the beauty of it, right? I really want to focus, and I know it might be triggering for people, but I want to focus on like you being in the trenches because that is real. The aesthetics are great. I love them too. I love pretty shit. I'm a pretty girl. I love it. Okay, I get it. And I really would like people that come to work with me and people on the internet that are interested in doing this work to see that this shit is not like sage, soaks and sound bowl healings. Like
Right.
this is you like not crying, being in a car, being like, what are we staying here like this is real work,
Right.
and those feelings are actual natural feelings, and we have to stop ignoring them and negating them and demonizing you being in the trenches because everybody's only showing you the pretty shit. Like we have to go back to the basics. I think there's a little
Right.
bit of like unmasking to be done in this space, and that's what I've been focusing on in my last intake in the Rebirth Initiation Academy. Like, reaffirming my women, letting them know, like, oh, you're in the trenches, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Like, now let's
Right.
work through it. Like, how are you feeling? What's real and alive? And they're like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah, my goal is not to get you from being in the trenches to your glow up
Right.
in 3 months. That's not my goal. My goal is for you to unveil yourself to yourself first. Then let me then reintroduce you to me because I'm just meeting the aesthetically pleasing Instagram version of you. And
Yes.
then I gotta, we gotta work through. You have to be comfortable with me. You start to trust me. That's why I give my women a total of 6 months in my container. The first 3 months were in Ria, and then the next 3 months they're moved into Ria Reborn, where you're having that integration process. Because, like, you just went through 3 months of uncovering. Now it's like the next 3 months, I give that to them for free. Let's do the real work. We did work.
Right.
But like now, you still get to be held in this space and you have this soft landing after you've gone through 20 plus years of trauma, and the internet is telling you to light a candle and burn sage and take a fucking bath and like, and buy some cute shit and that's your glow up. Like, girl,
Right.
okay. Buy the bag. Buy that shit if you want to. That's not going to make you happy. That's
Right.
not going to uncover the layers of pain that you experience every night when you lay down in that bed. That's why you scrolling and you death scrolling at night, and you're
Mm-hmm.
avoiding and you're numbing with whatever your choice of drug is, because your choice of drug could be Instagram, it could be scrolling on
Right.
Facebook, it could be not feeling your feelings and doing things that keep you outside of your body and not coming home to who you truly are.
Ooh. She said, "You're aesthetically pleasing." I Let me just say this.
As I put my lip gloss back on again.
Yes. So I always say everybody has a representative, right?
Uh-huh.
When you first meet somebody, they don't show you who they really are. It's
Mm-mm.
like it's a facade. And the more you talk to somebody, as humans, you naturally start revealing who you really are, whether you
Mm-hmm.
want to or not. There's only so long you can really hide who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So, my thing is when I talk to someone, I let them talk. I've learned to just be quiet and observe,
Mm.
right? So that's going to tell me about your character. It's going to tell me either one, no, you can never be trusted.
Facts.
I'm not telling you anything else ever.
Facts. Because you over here telling me this girl
And
business.
now I gotta kind of fall back. Or two, you are truly who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You found yourself. You are comfortable in your skin, and you can
Mm-hmm.
show that to people. And I always say that. So for you to say that about the highlights, people just showing the good parts, and that's how I
Mm-hmm.
felt about social media for a long time. I'm like, people just want to show everything is good. Everything is good. I got money. I'm good. I'm going to the clubs. I'm good. I'm going on trips. I'm good. But deep down inside, you're really covering up and
Mm-hmm.
masking
Mm-hmm.
things that you don't want to face.
Mm-hmm. But it looked good. But
But
it
it
looked
looked good.
good. It looked
But
good. But
but at the end of the day, go ahead. You want to say
you
something?
say it. You say it. But
Okay.
at
But
the
at
end of
the
the
end of the
day,
day, at the end of the day has to end, right? And when you are in a space by yourself, all
hmm,
you got is you. You got to face you.
hmm,
But go ahead,
what
sis.
is that? What is that person, and what are your eyes saying back to you when you're looking in the mirror? Or can you not even look at your eyes when you look in the mirror?
Hmm.
That's it. That is where I wish for women to come home to, where they could look in the mirror on their worst day and be like, "Yeah, we did that." Or like, I'm not okay. Like, cool, I'm not okay. Just to admit that to yourself, to look in the mirror and say, "I am not okay right now."
Yes.
There is just this facade, and I really am figuring out my way of dismantling that, and I want to be mindful and intentional in how I do that. But this, like, platforms like this are so important for women
Yes.
like me to speak about these things, because while I may not be able to show you, because let's just be for real, I post a video of me crying on the internet, what is the first thing that everybody is saying in the comments?
How can you record yourself crying?
What's the second thing everybody's saying? Are
I
you
could never.
okay? Yes. Are you okay? Is everything okay? Then comes the sympathy, and it's like, I'm showing you this to show you what is possible. I'm not showing you me crying because I'm not like, let me set my camera up and cry. It ain't never that. It's, I'm in the trenches, and 90% of the time my camera is already set up because I was already talking to
Right.
my camera about something, getting something off of my heart, and you happen to catch that clip that is 30 minutes into the video of me crying. You get what I'm saying? So
Yes.
it's a fine line, because the internet is an interesting place. We didn't have all of this access growing up. It's a beautiful thing. I love it. And also, it's so misleading. There's like a distinct line where it's like, glamour, healing is so pretty, sound baths in the pool, or let's do a moon circle. And then you have the girlies over here that are like, I'm in the trenches, like, what the fuck? Like, but how do I show that and help people
Right.
without it becoming, a thing? So I just want
Right.
to be intentional in showing that, and that's always my intention when I do post a video of me, like, in the trenches, because I want to show you, like, all aspects of me. You gonna see me twerking, you gonna see me in the trenches, you gonna see me at my joy, you gonna see me on vacation, you're gonna see me having conversations with my niecey poo, you gonna see me having conversations, difficult conversations with people that I love, and you're going to see all those aspects, because that's me, and that's my authentic self. You might not, I
Yes.
don't know, I might not like show you my dirty car, but my car is dirty, but like, I'm a real human being, so you're going to get all the aspects of me.
I love that. So, what does safe love or safe space look like for you
Ooh.
now?
Personally, or, because that's a loaded question, that could go either way.
You can answer whatever your spirit is leading you.
Safe spaces, I'm going to do both. Safe spaces for me and my personal life are people that 100% respect my boundaries. are people that I feel like I could go to and be my truest, most authentic self. And not that I can't be my truest, most authentic self with everybody, but there are people that feel like home to me. And I know you know what I'm saying. And I know anybody watching this is nodding their head with me, like, yes. Safe spaces are created by me because I've allowed people to know what I will accept, what I will not accept. And that goes for family members, friends, acquaintances, clients. I have set firm boundaries with immediate family members, and we do not have conversations, and that's not from a space of hate or anger. It's from the deepest part of my being that requires peace, like a peace that I've cultivated that comes from being in the trenches, okay? And I'm not willing to allow anybody, I don't care if you're related to me, blood, partner, anybody to take that piece away from me. So that is what safe spaces look like to me right now. They're limited also. I limit access to who I allow in my life. And that's not from a space of thinking I'm better than anybody, but just knowing what I deserve and
Right.
knowing that I have a bigger purpose in this life and I need the proper energy to be able to execute what it is I came here to do and the women that I came here to help. And if you're going to pull from that in any way, shape, or form, you got to stay the fuck away from me. And I'm
For
going to
real.
keep you the fuck away from me. Safe spaces when it comes to, excuse me, my allergies, y'all, I'm sorry. Safe spaces when it comes to my clients in the Rebirth Initiation Academy, that I even put boundaries up. I do not work with everybody.
Right.
I have my women fill out an application
Mm-hmm.
and I have transitioned from calling my clients sisters to calling them my RIA clients for multiple reasons and not because I don't love them and like you're my sister, period.
Yes.
Me and you are sisters.
Oh my God! Wow!
Come to work with me in my space, you are my RIA client. And that is just a boundary to help me stay in my mentorship. And not help me stay, but to have the mentor client role respected in the proper
Right.
way. And that's not me saying anybody disrespected it. This is just the evolution of my safe spaces. And I just want to be clear and direct in my communication and allow everybody to know what is going on. And I think that we lack that in some of those spaces and there's like a
Mm-hmm.
blurred line and I don't want to blur any lines. Like you're not buying my friendship. We're not doing that. If we become friends, we organically become friends. I've become friends with a few of my clients and I love them
Right.
dearly and I'm always going to love them and they're always going to be my friends. And also like this isn't that. So if you want to come work on this trauma, you are my client and I am your mentor and your trauma mama and your rebirth initiator. And if we
Right.
happen to click, like, then it happens organically and I'm for that. But safe spaces, I am also heavy on, and I've always been this way,
Mm-hmm.
making sure that all the women understand the guidelines and the boundaries, and that there's no bullying in my space. If I see it, you get removed immediately that the space stays safe where like you see me post screenshots and like feedback from my clients, but you'll
Mm-hmm.
never know who they are. You'll never see their name unless they give me permission and they write a written testimony. I will post their
Right.
name. But I just we talk about a lot of heavy, ugly stuff that could be potentially used against people in a malicious way. So
Yeah.
I'm super conscious and just mindful of how I share their experiences and what I talk about. There's so much that I could talk about, so much more, but I am heavy on confidentiality and protecting the women that trust me with their pain.
Right. Absolutely. You know, I'm the same way. I, especially with building the platform where I interview women. We're on the same
Mhm.
page, but your business is a little different from mine. But
Yeah.
we definitely have the same communities.
Mhm.
So What advice, Sharice, would you give to someone who's just beginning their healing journey?
Get support.
After years of silence or
Get
shame.
support. Get Find you a safe space and get the support that you deserve from a girly, and I'm going to be super transparent, from a girly that was very much I could do this shit by myself for the longest time. I am Miss Independent. I don't need nobody to help me. I got it. Get you the support that you need and that you deserve. Do not wait 10 years to be like, damn, I need some help figuring out why I have these night terrors. I need some help figuring out why when my partner hugs me, my body tenses up. I need some help trying to figure out why I keep living this cycle that I've watched everybody in my immediate family and my extended family live. I need some help because the relationships in my life are suffering and I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to do about it. Everything in my
Right.
life is impacted negatively because of the trauma I've experienced or inherited. And you can't do that work by yourself. I couldn't do that work by myself. I'm not even going to sit here and be like, oh, I got to where I am. No, I got to where I am because I had the support that I had, period, across the
Yes.
board. Mentally, emotionally, physically, business. I have business mentors. I am a mentor girly. Cool, you figured it out. Cool, help me figure it out.
Yes. Yes. I
There are
agree.
people in positions that can help you get to your next level, and your need to be hyper independent, which is a trauma response, is going to
Yes.
keep you stuck where the fuck you are for longer than you need to be because you've been taught to be strong. You were taught that as a little girl, whether it was subconsciously spoken to you or spoken to you, that strength equates to being independent. Like, oh, I did this by myself. I'm a boss. I got this. No, no, no.
Mm-hmm.
No. They were strong not by choice. They were strong by default. The women that you watched in your family carry the world on their shoulders had to. They didn't have a
Right.
choice. They didn't have the
Right.
tools. They didn't have communities like we have. We have access, and that's why I said the internet is a beautiful thing. At the touch of a button, you can get access to communities that are safe spaces that can help you out of the trenches. You can get
Yes.
access to the Rebirth Initiation Academy, where we are rewiring all of those limiting beliefs and all of those thoughts where, oh, I have to be strong. Strong independence means strong. I'm doing this by myself. I watched everybody else in my family do it. All the cycles, all the we just argue. That's what we do as a family. Girl, what? Why? Y'all don't want to talk? Y'all don't want to have regular
Right.
conversations? You should hear the things that I hear in my DMs. And it's like, oh, this is normal. And it's like, that's y'all normal. You were taught that was normal. That's
Right.
not normal. In a healing space, because you know I don't like to say healed, because I feel like when we're healed, we're done,
Yes.
and we could go back to from what we came. But when you are continuously healing, that conflict is normal.
Yes.
Raging arguments every day is not normal.
No.
That's not, and it's not healthy. So you get to create what it is that you want to experience and live, and by doing that you get to go back and rewire those things that you were taught, or you're just going to perpetuate that trauma into every relationship. And I don't mean romantic. You could do it in your day-to-day coworker, like
Right.
relationships and your business dealings and just meeting people at the store. You're projecting everything you picked up as a child and you're calling it normal because it was taught to you and it's not.
Right.
So the internet is a beautiful space. Please get the support that you deserve. Not that you need, but that you deserve. That little girl that was not nurtured the way that she deserved to be nurtured because your mom and your dad were not nurtured the way that they deserved to be nurtured because their parents were literally stuck in survival. Get that little girl the support that she deserves so that she could live her life free and authentic and in fucking peace finally.
Ooh, a bar. I
I love
love
us.
it.
I love
I
that so
love
much.
this so much. Look, we say the same stuff. I love that, Sharice. You have evolved so much. And
Aw.
I always admired your transparency and how direct you are. You know, we don't use profanity on the platforms
I
because
figured that.
it's a
I
Christian
figured that.
base.
No, I appreciate you allowing me to just be my most authentic self and me feeling
Yes.
comfortable where I didn't have to be like, ooh, let me censor. Like I knew I could
Right.
be myself and you would
Yes.
receive me in my fullness. So thank you.
I love you regardless.
Thank you, girl. Thank you. I love you.
I don't want to hold you up for too long because you know we can talk for hours and hours,
We sure can. That's
and
why I
then
say
the
every year
interview will
we're
be
gonna have
4 hours. What legacy, Sharice, do you want to leave behind as a woman who has survived,
Mm.
healed, or chosen to rise? And what's next for you?
I love your question. The legacy that I wanna leave behind is that my pain was not in vain and that I helped so many other women in healing their generational trauma and healing their sexual violations and being able to not only not pass it forward, but for them
Mm-hmm.
to be able to know that the work that they did
Mm-hmm.
healed because these generations that are no longer here 10 generations back and is
Mm-hmm.
continuing to heal the generations that have not landed yet. I want my legacy to be that, my little babies look at me and be like, my mom is amazing and she's the best mommy in the world and she's fun and that they, not that they know nothing about my journey because I think it's important for when I have children to let them know like some of the things I went through, but for them not to be touched by it. Does that make sense? Like for them to
Yes.
be like, I would have never knew because my life been lit. Like my mom loves me. She's nurturing. She's caring. She they're just not gonna get any of the things that I got. And this isn't
Right.
me, you know, being like my mom did the best that she could with the tools that she had, and I love her in all directions of time and space because she's not here anymore. My mom did the best that she could with the tools that she had, and I love them deeply, both of them. And my children are going to experience something completely different because I know and I have the tools and I had the support. And what's next for me is, oh girl, again the visions. God is like, I have another intake that starts July 7th, so 7/7 of the Rebirth Initiation Academy. I've just upgraded the Rebirth Initiation Academy, so it's like RIA 2.0. I am constantly upgrading when I get downloads and putting new content in there. My next intake after that starts in October. But the big thing that's next for me is I'm planning a retreat in Arizona. And yes, I'm going to get women together. And it's not next year, but it is the following year. I will be announcing it on my 40th solar return, which is January 18th. So be ready for that announcement. But it will be the following year. And I'm just excited to get women together in person because I love this. I love the internet. I love how we can connect across the world. It's beautiful. And there's
Yes.
nothing like being in person to like see and experience and eat together and talk and hug and we twerking. It is going to be a vibe. It is going to be magical. I already have so many things in the works and yeah, I'm just excited to connect with women in that way and feed them well.
Yes.
And yeah, because that's also healing in a sense. So yeah, that's what's next for me. I'm not gonna take my foot off the gas. I am very much, I have a lot planned behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like you said, you love the directness and the boldness, and I'm leaning more into that and just showing you what is possible because This work is so important, and I'm just super passionate about it, and I know this is one of the reasons why I'm here. It's not like my all-time biggest purpose, because my biggest purpose is living in my authenticity and being in joy and being, right? That's why we're
Right.
here. We're here to be, not do or perform or do none of that shit. But one of my purposes in this lifetime is to help women transmute their generational and their sexual trauma into their triumph. And
Right.
I am going to run it up with that, because that's one of the things I'm here to do. So
As you should. As you should. Congratulations to all your future endeavors and the
thank
ones that's
you.
happening right now.
Thank you.
It's going to continue to blossom
It's
for you.
like when you say it, I feel it. Like I literally feel like you're giving. You get what I'm saying? I feel like you're giving me that energy, and I can take that and receive that. And these type
Yes.
of connections are so important. So thank you. Thank you.
Organic. Very organic.
So organic.
And what I wanted to ask you before I ask you if you have any questions for me, have you forgiven yourself and those who have hurt you since our last interview?
We talked about this on the last interview, and I have no idea. I don't remember what I said, but I truly believe that forgiveness is a continuous journey, also. So, yes, I've forgiven parts of myself, and I've forgiven parts of the people that have hurt me. And also, there are some things that, where I sit at in this seat of my life right now, there are some things that I cannot forgive based on how, like, my life played out, if that makes sense. And without saying too much, my life, not saying that I want a completely different life, because I really love my life, and I would not be who I am today had I not gone through these things. And damn it, I am not going to sit here and be like, and pretend I wish that I was never trafficked. That's real. Like, that is, who wants that? Who
Right.
wants to experience that? I wish that my mom was never touched and harmed, because then her body wouldn't have experienced all the trauma it did. I wish that my mom was treated the way she deserved to be treated. There are parts of me that have forgiven aspects of those people in my life and in my mom and my mom's life, absolutely, because of their trauma. I know that the reason that they did those things is because they watched certain things growing up, and I know how powerful the subconscious mind is, and that's why I'm so passionate about doing this work. And
Right.
also, in my humanness, there, some of that shit is just unforgivable at this point. And I may, next year when you talk to me, get to another part of my journey and be like, oh yeah, girl, I forgave all that. Because we're ever evolving beings.
Yes.
But I just wanted to be super transparent and like let people know that you don't have to rush to forgive people. There also is that going on the internet that I'm seeing right now, and it's like, just forgive them and forget. And it's like, yeah, nah. Because then you're denying a part of yourself, and you're not expressing your feelings. You're not being truthful with how you feel. And it's like, if you don't feel like forgiving them, you don't have to forgive them yet. It's
Right.
a continuous journey,
Right.
and it's something that I'm working on. I would love for next year for us to meet and me be like, girl, I forgave him. But I don't know, because there's layers to it. That generational trauma is so thick and it's so deep, and it's a continuous journey. So I don't want people to like misconstrue my words and be like, well, how you doing it? Because I'm actively doing the work. It's a continuous journey. You're not going to wake up and get to a plateau and be like, I've done all the healing. I'm done. I'm healed. Let me go be a shaman and call everybody to Egypt and
Right.
tell you that I can heal you. Like, stay away from people like that, because
Right.
that's like spiritual narcissism, and I don't f with that. Okay, I ain't going. You ain't
Yes.
gotta edit that out.
Yes.
This is no. You go ahead.
It's on my spirit. But with forgiveness, I definitely agree with everything that you said. God got this. Forgiveness is definitely a journey. This is not
Mhm.
like today I forgive you for hurting me and you did, all these things to me, and tomorrow I'm good. I'm renewed. Oh no.
Mm-mm.
Every day,
Every day.
Lord, for the people
Period.
that hurt me, I forgive them every day. Every day. When I know that I completely forgave a person that really hurt me is when I'm in a space that they're in and it's not triggering me, it's not interrupting my
Mm.
nervous system, it's not
Mm.
making my heart palpitate, and it's not bringing me back to the space that I was once in when around them. That's when I'll know I completely forgave someone. So when I tell people, when they say they forgive, they're good, they're healing, are you healed or are you in a space where you're not around that person or those people that can trigger you?
That part,
Because
literally that part.
people got avoidant attachment styles. They block
Mhm.
people, they change numbers. That was me for a long time. I block people, I change numbers. You can't get in contact with me, I block you on social media. Instead of taking it on, face to face, head on. Once I
Mhm.
realized that it's still bothering me to be in this space, it's still triggering me when you say this, it's still, it agitates me. That mean that is unresolved trauma. And until you
Mhm.
face that head on, and you can run from it as much as you want, but as Sharice stated earlier in this interview, it's a lot of the reason as to why we're scrolling. We got to talk to people. We cling on to people. We got to call them every day. It's because you are running away from you. When you
Mhm.
stop running away from you, stop seeking validation, and really deal with what's going on deep inside, you'll become a better version of yourself.
It's so beautifully said. So beautifully said. That was a mic drop moment. As soon as you said it, I felt it in my body. Like, it's beautiful that you can be around people that have harmed you and not have those reactions. And I literally
Right,
thought, what about the people that are refusing to even be in that space? Like you heard me earlier. If I don't deal with you, I don't deal with you. I don't
right.
I there are family members that I will not put myself around. And
Same.
how am I supposed to know unless I'm around them that how my body responds? And I'm okay with not even experiencing one or the other. I'm okay with just knowing that like, for right now, they cannot be in my space because that is how heavy I'm protecting my peace. Now, if we
Yes.
bump into each other, which I actually bumped into one of my family members the other day, and I don't particularly have a firm boundary with her, but we have some discord and conflict in the past.
Right.
And I saw her and I was like, "Hey girl, how you doing?" And she was like, "I'm doing good." She's like, "You look good." And I was like, I tell myself that every day in the mirror. Thank you so much. And I really like I love you and I'll see you later. And I walked away and it was like there was no reaction in my body. And we used to butt heads a lot. So that is a prime example of that and it felt good.
Right.
But I was myself also because me being like, girl, I
Yes.
tell myself that in the mirror. Like that was me being me, and it could have came off in any type of way, and it could come off in any way when people watch this. But like, I'm gonna be me in whatever room I'm in. I'm
Right.
I am this way when I'm not on camera. When I'm with myself, I'll be like very much that
Yes.
that is a superpower. When the world tells you to be somebody completely different, or when from a young age I was always told I was too loud, I was too that, I was this, for me to like own this in any space that I go in, that is my wish for everybody. That they could just be their truest, most authentic selves and,
Yes.
not end up on the death scroll and try to be somebody that you're not.
Oh, bar,
Like the
sister.
world needs you. The world needs
Yes.
you. Like I'm so happy that you went through what you went through over the past, year and that
Yes.
you've rebirthed and just became this voice of women that you already were, but that you came back to yourself and you were able to like rebuild yourself in this way and also not just rebuild yourself. I know you got things going on in your family and behind the scenes, but
Mm-hmm.
to have the capacity to pour into your passion and your purpose and the way that you do. Like, I'm just so grateful that you're here.
Man, don't do this.
Somewhere deep down in my heart, I still love you.
No, I am.
Don't
I'm
make me
grateful that you're
emotional, man.
here. We need women like you to be doing this work. Like, you're literally doing your, and I have goosebumps. My whole body is like zoomy. We need you. So I'm just grateful to be able to speak on this platform, to be able to call you one of my friends. I'm grateful to be in this space with you and to witness you and what you got coming, cause they ain't
Yes, we're
ready.
working on some stuff. We're
They ain't
working on some
ready.
stuff. They not ready. They really
They
not.
not ready.
They not. They really not.
I'm
So
so excited.
to finish off to what you said, I accept that and receive all of what you said. Okay, I accept and
Take
receive.
your flowers.
Yeah, because I'm always used to just being the humble. I don't want to anything that I'm saying. I don't want it to sound like, oh, she's gloating and she's bragging, but it's real. You
Mhm.
can turn your pain into power. And I tell you guys that all the time. Turn your pain into power.
Yes.
So yeah, we're moving different. I feel amazing mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. I am working on some things I can't say yet because we don't want to mess up any blessings that are
Mhm.
planted to grow.
Mhm.
So I won't speak on those things yet. But when the time is right, just like Sharice said, we
Mhm.
will announce those things. But to finish off to what she was saying, if you are in a space where you are now, finding yourself or you have found yourself, you'll understand that being in solitude is so powerful,
Mhm.
right? I used to want to be around a bunch of people all the time. Anything that I'm doing, if I'm running errands, if I'm on the phone, whatever it is I'm doing, I got to be around people. But now that I have found myself and found healing, I'm still on a healing journey. But now that I have found healing, I love being in solitude.
Mhm.
I turn my phone off. I put my phone on do not disturb. Those are my boundaries. If I don't want to talk, I don't talk.
Mhm.
If I'm working, I disconnect. And that's my place of peace. So definitely agree with what you said. Before we end the show, do you have any questions for me?
Yes, I want to know, when you were in the trenches, what pulled you out?
That's a good question. I sound like you, the roles on reverse. Oh man. When I was in the trenches and I was battling with depression, walking away from a lot of things that no longer served me, what helped me was one of my good friends, shout out to Juju, Justice. She kind of put a reminder in my mind that prayer is a call away.
Mm.
And she told me, we can get back on the Bible. I would tell her all the time, we always battling or going through something at the same time. And it's crazy. We reconnect and we start talking and it comes out. But she reminded me to get back on the Bible app and start reading the plans with her. And that started slowly pulling me out. Between that and journaling, those were the two things that really helped me. Like
Mm.
really,
And that's
really.
beautiful.
And then my daughter along the way, she would drop little gems to me. Although she's 13, she was 12 at the time. She saw me at my lowest. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
During the time of my lowest, she continued to uplift me. Mom, you're a great mom. You're beautiful. You're this. Let's go for a walk. Let's do this. We could journal together. And those three things together brought me to where I am right now.
Oh, God, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It was like literally God sent you your partners and your
Yes.
support at the same time. For you and Justice to be going through the things that y'all go through at parallels
Yes.
all the time, that is one of your soulmates, right? Our soulmates
Yes.
don't have to be in our twin flames, don't have to be
Yeah.
romantic. They could be people that are assigned to us on purpose so that we could
Yes.
go through this life together and know that we're not alone. I think that
Yes.
what is beautiful is that y'all both were able to speak about it and not hide it from each other. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Because we live in a world that glamorizes pretty shit, and y'all were not
Yes.
going through pretty shit. So I
Right.
think that that is beautiful. And for your daughter to reflect those things to you, I need to reflect to you that means that you are continuously healing the generational trauma that you've experienced and
Yes.
inherited. Because for your little girl to say that, that was taught. You taught her that. You taught her
Yes.
to uplift because you uplift her. You taught her how great she is because she can mirror back to you your greatness. Like
Yes.
that is what I want when I have children. So thank you for being the model. You know what I mean? Thank you
Yes.
for showing and for leading in this way. Like that. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you.
Okay.
That's what I got. Thank you,
Wow.
girl.
I
Are
appreciate you.
these are healing sessions that we are having right
Yes.
here, okay?
Yes.
Yes,
And
girl.
that anybody that's dealing with it, you can get through it, any challenge. But
You
that's
can.
part of life. You got to face the challenges
Yes.
to see the finish line. So, sister, I appreciate you for blessing my platform with your wonderful presence for the second time.
Yeah.
All right.
We gonna hear it
This,
yearly, all
yes, I was just about to say
right?
this is definitely going to be another reunion and update
Yes. And
soon.
next year you'll meet a different version of both of us. And
Yes.
that's because we've evolved and you're supposed to evolve. So thank you. Again, thank you for having me on
This was
here. I can't.
amazing. This is
Especially
definitely
on
amazing.
such a magical day.
It was. It was. And do you want to announce what this day mean to you today?
Oh, so it's 422.
Hmm.
I'm a numbers girly. I'm into numerology. Everybody that comes into the Rebirth Initiation Academy gets a numerology deep dive. But the
Yes.
numbers, the study of numbers, are just connected to so much energy. So numerology is
Yes.
literally the study of numbers. And 422, number one, it's Earth Day, and we only have
Yes.
one that we are aware of.
Yeah.
Number two, it is a magical day because I formatted my LLC on this day years ago. Like I mean like over a decade ago. And so when I say like overnight success, I've been doing this work. This is the work that I've been doing for well over a decade. And last but not least, 422 is in my numerology deep dive, my primary life achievement. It's what I came to do and become, and I can literally ignore it, but
Yes.
it would be impossible because it is a master number, so it holds such a high frequency. And in my
Yes.
chart, 422 means that I came here to build something that is bigger than myself, that will
Hmm.
help so many people, and in turn those people will help so many people. And like I am literally living my purpose, one
Yeah.
of my purposes, because I like to say like being is really my ultimate purpose, but I'm living that out loud. I have built something from the ground up, which is the Rebirth Initiation Academy, and I am helping women heal, not only in healing their generational and sexual trauma, but
Hmm.
helping those generations that came before them heal that for them and those generations that are no longer here, and make sure that they are continuing their healing journey and that they are not passing that to the 10 lineages that come after them. So, yeah.
In the words of my good sister Magda, boom.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much, sis.
Thank you.
So Sharice's journey continues to be a testament to the power of vulnerability, truth, and transformation.
Mm.
Thank you for being a voice of courage and clarity, not just for survivors, but for anyone learning to reclaim their identity. To our listeners, if this conversation stirs something in you, know that healing is not linear, but it's possible. You are not alone. You are not what happened to you. You are
Mm.
who you decide to become. This has been another powerful episode of Voices of Her. Stay connected, stay rooted.
Yes. Yes. Beautiful. Bye. That was great.